Welcome to the kill zone.
I feel the silence chasing me. Shadows follow me everywhere I go. Danger's near, I can feel it.
Say my name, feel that flame. Welcome to the kill zone. Kill zone. Say my name, feel that flame. Welcome to the kill zone.
There's a silence screaming in the dark. Footsteps echo when I fall apart. Eyes behind me, I can feel the weight.
Say my name, feel that flame.
Welcome to the kill zone. Danger's near, I can feel it.
Say my name, feel that flame. Welcome to the kill zone. Kill zone. Say my name, feel that flame. Welcome to the kill zone. Say my name, feel that flame. Welcome to the kill zone. Welcome to the kill zone. Kill zone. Kill zone.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Wednesday night. Tonight, we give you the coverage of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. Season 12 is slowly coming to a conclusion. Just 2 races left on the schedule. We've got tonight here at North Wilkesboro and next week at Homestead. You look at the points, there's about 5 drivers that are still mathematically in the hunt based off of how many drivers show up for every race. But there is a solidified 4 that we are going to for sure keep our eyes out for here this evening as we test the skills of short track racing at North Wilkesboro. We're excited to give you all the coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is Richard Wolsifer. And Richard, we're here to a short track. This is a skill level that we haven't seen so far in the chase, but certainly can be the race-defining moment for some of these drivers.
Yeah, if there's any race that is going to shake up the points and shake up the order, it's going to be North Wilkesboro. And not only are we going to North Wilkesboro, we're going to the newly scanned version of it. We're not on the old one with a lot of character, a lot of bumps, old surface. It's the new surface in North of Wilkesboro, so it's going to be really interesting to see what these guys can do with this Gen 4 Legacy car. Should be a lot of speed and a lot to handle for these guys tonight.
It certainly should be. A lot of drivers of note to watch out for. It's going to be the championship contenders. Obviously, going to be the fastest driver from practice. Before the drivers got a little bit into the shenanigans, wall riding, and kind of throwing off where the standings were, it was Jake Nichols, top of the board. Enters tonight, second in points, not the points leader in the chase. That got taken away by Ryan Kelly. That is probably the biggest shock coming into the chase. I think everyone had it in their mind that Nichols was the driver to beat. Since race 1 of the chase, he's still searching for his first win in the chase. Could tonight be the night that he solidifies himself once again? Because I think that's been the weirdest thing to see so far, but that's become the norm now since we've changed over to this Legacy ARCA car. As we're getting ready for qualifying for these drivers, they'll have 2 laps to put down their fastest times, and they'll have 5 minutes to put down their fastest time, 2 laps to do so. Richard, I'm really interested to see if Jake Nichols can step up here tonight and find that first win in the chase.
Yeah, Jake Nichols has definitely been on the back foot, it seems, when the switch over to the Legacy Gen 4 car was made for this decision to do it. And he's still seen speed in him, but it's just like other drivers have really stepped up what they've been able to do. And Ryan Kelly is the one that we really need to talk about, being able to score 2 wins in the championship already. He's been the driver in the hot seat, and he's able to, like we said, take the points lead. So it'll be interesting to see if Jake Nichols can finally get back to his dominating stature here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, and to add a little more on that Ryan Kelly just dominance. Like you said, he's got those 2 wins, but he's finished. His worst finish was last week, and it was a 3rd place finish. He's been in the top 3 every race. We'll see if we can continue on with that trend, which another fun trend that we're keeping our eyes out on is, can we stay caution free? As Ben Keeney going to be the first driver to cross the line in 19.835. But we have been caution free for 3 races straight for a whole month, basically. We haven't seen a yellow flag be thrown. Will that continue here tonight? Going to be a tough one. Been hearing from the drivers. It's tight, it's loose, it's everything you could ask for. It's just a handful that these drivers are going to be having for themselves, as looking at more drivers trying to put in their qualifying times. Everyone's still searching to put a time in, as I think what everyone's waiting for is the track to cool off, as we're starting to see a little bit more of the fog, the lights, the sun's dimming down. It is starting to hit. The drivers are waiting for the very last moment when this track is at its coolest to go hit this course and put down their fast times.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers, they are waiting for the track to be at its coolest possible, give them as much grip and speed as they possibly can. As we've only got one driver that has put down a lap so far, Ben Keeney, currently sitting on the pole with his 19.883. Chuck Sweeting was able to put a lap down, but it looks like it might take the pole with a 19.427. So still waiting for a lot of drivers to get on the track and start putting their laps down, but Chuck Sweeting sets the fastest currently.
He does set it. That's going to be off of his first lap. Going to be looking for a little bit more here on lap number 2. And across the line, will be a slightly better at 19.288 as more drivers now leaving pit road. And here we go. It's time to see, can Chuck Sweeting's 19.288 hold up, or will someone else try to dethrone that time? As everyone is rattling off their speed. The fastest lap during practice was a 19.093 from Jake Nichols. Did anyone else get into that 0 range? Is Thomas Green not going to be the new driver on top at 19.148? We're now left with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. And here we go. Is Cedric Hunter going to be diving down low? And that's been a choosing point for drivers. Do you want to be on the outside, the inside? We're going to be seeing a lot of drivers searching throughout this track to find that quick time, as Gavin Rogers will be coming up shy on lap number 2, and Cedric Hunter's second lap not going to be fast enough for the pole.
Yeah, Cedric Hunter falling into 3rd with a 19.2, but Gavin Rogers getting to 2nd. But next drops down to 3rd as Jake Nichols takes the pole with a 19.124. getting just faster than Thomas Green. Jake Nichols back to his speed, it seems like. Larry Yingling is able to score a really nice lap with a 19.2, knocking Gavin Rogers down to 5th. Larry will take 4th currently. Still have about half the field left to get a lap down to qualify. A few drivers might have put laps down already, but hitting the wall or getting an X, it kind of invalidates their lap. Like Vincent Sora, only lap counting for himself. His second lap with a 19.245 back in 6th.
As more drivers getting their final laps in, 35 seconds left here in qualifying. Can Jake Nichols find his 8th pole of the season here this evening? Someone else try to steal the highlight to start this evening off. This pole is important. That is one of the bonus points that you can get. And Ryan Kelly strips it away, a 19.067 by the 3 machine. And Ryan Kelly does not want to lose touch to his points lead. He wants to extend it with getting the pole right there.
Yeah, a great lap from Ryan Kelly, about 6/600ths faster than that of Jake Nichols. So he's one to continue his dominating ways in this championship run so far, as he will be granted the pole tonight. That'll give him 1 extra bonus point into the final standings.
And that's an important one to grab. Ryan Kelly, that will be his first pole of the season, and what a time to grab it to extend that points lead to 5 now if you add that point entering into this evening. But we've got ourselves, with qualifying and practice over, a 5-minute warm-up period for the drivers. It's your last time to get some practice in, as well as lets us take a deeper look of the season so far. And like I said, this is chase race number 5, and here's the points entering into tonight. Ryan Kelly, top of the board by 4 points. Now you can make it 5 with him grabbing the pole here this evening. But these were points before the qualifying started. Jake Nichols going to be 2nd, Jared Talmadge 4th, and going to be 3rd, and 4th being John Forbes. Really felt like those were going to be the drivers of note to watch out for. Mathematically still there, going to be Brian McCann and Vincent Sora, but they're going to need a lot of help here tonight to have a chance to be crowned the Season 12 champion. But you got to give credit to the rest of the top 16 that made it to the chase. But Richard, those top 5, they're the ones of note.
Yeah, the top 5, like you said, are just really the 5 that are going to be challenging for the championship trophy at the end of this season after next week. And I just don't think Vincent Sora, who is the closest next in 6th, 26 points back currently, it'll be really tough for him to be able to make that up. I mean, he's got to have a perfect race this week and next week and hope that the guys in front of him do not have a good race at all.
Yeah, they're going to need all those 5 drivers ahead of them to basically finish in the last 5 places of tonight's race. And we'll see if potentially that could happen. We've seen wilder things in racing and give drivers a chance. But Jake Nichols going to be the fastest during warm-ups. He continues with some speed here this evening. But we're going to move over to the schedule. Like I said, only 2 races tonight, next week. It's been a fantastic season overall, 16 races. We've finished up, and it has been fantastic for the chase. We've seen a lot of last lap passes, fairly close finishes. This has been a brilliant chase to watch out for the whole entire season. It has been awesome to see the evolution of drivers and the way they've really developed to find the speed here late.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch these drivers develop this season. I mean, Ryan Kelly, like we've been kind of harping on him pretty much all season, or mainly this championship run, has really stepped it up ever since the Legacy Gen 4 cars switch. He has dominated so far in this championship run, and he's continuing it today, starting on pole. But, I mean, Jake Nichols has been the name all season until the switch, and it's going to be really exciting to see what he can do tonight to try to get back out in front and take that lead back away from Kelly.
And that's going to be your schedule so far here tonight. And with 2 minutes left in the warm-ups, we're going to have our pick-ems. Who are drivers that we feel like are those to watch out for? We forgot to give our choices to Robert, so we're going to make them live. I'm actually going to go with the driver that is inside of our top 5 in points. That's going to be the number 8 of Brian McCann. He enters tonight 5th in points. This is his make-or-break race. He's been so consistent. He was the first driver to challenge Jake Nichols. I thought he was going to be the main driver in the chase to watch out for. Hasn't found the finishes tonight. I think that's going to be my driver to watch out for here this evening.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the number 27 of Jarrett Talmadge. He is doing a fantastic job sitting third in the points, only 6 behind the leader, 2 behind Jake Nichols, and Talmadge has really been consistent all season long and always there challenging Jake Nichols. I'm gonna have to watch out for the 27 tonight.
And then our third member of our crew going to be running production in the background. That's Robert Moyer Jr. We cannot forget this driver. It's last season's champion, Gavin Rogers. What does the one have here tonight? Last couple of weeks, he has really found his own pace. He's found his own footing and really has looked like the Gavin of old. Is tonight going to be another great run? He was the driver who led the most laps back in season 9. We'll see if he can find that pace once more. As warm-ups come to a close, we do want to say thank you to this title sponsor here for season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series, that being going to be Elwood Designs. Elwood Designs has been around since 2012, helping iRacers find their own identity with their own paint schemes. Recently, Elwood Designs has been partnering up with simrapmarket.com to help drivers have their chances to have baselines to craft off of to make their own schemes. You can go find some of the schemes from Elwood Designs on Facebook at Elwood Designs, as well as on X at Elwood Designs, and then at Simrap Market, look up Alan Elwood to find the schemes that you could turn into your own at, again, Simrap Market. Thank you so much to Elwood Designs for being our season 12 sponsor. And with warm-ups coming to a close, it's about to be race time. Thank you so much to everyone that's joining with us here this evening as the WSSR Cup Series gets ready for race number 5 of the chase, as we take a look at our Lucky Duck Motorsports starting grid. Big thank you to Lucky Duck Motorsports for partnering up, bringing in drivers to race this season, to be a part of an amazing team. As you finish well with your results, you can get paid out with offers from bonuses, as well as being part of Lucky Ducks. They will cover your league fees. Also, Lucky Ducks loves to promote great charities as they put them on their cars. You can check them out with all the vehicles that are out on track, as well as you can go to Tiltify and find ways to help out amazing charities. You can find out more from Lucky Duck Motorsports on X at We Are Lucky Ducks, and on Instagram at Lucky Duck Motorsports. Taking his first pole of the season, it's the 3 machine of Ryan Kelly. Finding the pace when it matters the most. Can he carry that on here tonight? We'll find out. To his outside will be the 73 of Jake Nichols. Behind them in row number 2, it's the 31 of Thomas Green and Brian McCann. And 5th, we find the 3-time champ of the WSSR Cup Series of Larry Gingling and last season's champ of Gavin Rogers. 7th, we find Vincent Sora. 8th is Jarrett Talmadge. Cedric Hunter in 9th, and finished out our top 10, it's the 57 of Chuck Sweeting.
John Forbes starting pretty far back in the field, further we normally see him, back in the 11th position, with Seth Knoll making his return tonight, had North Wilkesboro starting in 12th. Chris Stitz starting back in 13th, with Ben Keeney on his outside starting in 14th. Back in row 8, you're going to have Brian Noel, the 00, and Ollie Fonseca in the 24 machine, and Zach Hall rounding out the 17-car field starting in the back.
As the field is about to get rolling, we were notified after last week's race of the fact that WSSR, this will be their final season, as they will be heading into a hiatus period. They've done this before back at the end of season 3. They took about a 1.5-year break. We'll see how long this break is, but I want to say thank you to the league admins, to all the drivers that have raced throughout all these seasons. These are going to be the final 2 races for the foreseeable future of the WSSR Cup Series. And let's make them a special one, Richard, as the drivers get rolling. It looks like Ryan Kelly wants to take the outside. Gonna force Jake Nichols to the inside. Tonight's race gonna be 200 laps. No stage break, no fast repairs, with 4 extra sets of tires in pit road. This certainly should be a good one, as the drivers will have an extra pace lap with us being at a short track. But Richard, what are you expecting here in these early couple of laps?
Yeah, it's going to be trying to jostle for position, get as far up as you can early. I think that's what's going to be the big key to this race. Ryan Kelly, as you said, is going to start on the outside of the front row. Should have that run coming out of turn 2 to clear Jake Nichols. We'll have to see if Nichols has got some pace on the bottom side of the track, but it's going to be really fun to watch these last 2 races of WSSR before their hiatus. I remember my time racing with these guys, and it's a lot of fun. Glad to see these guys showing up and showing out tonight. See if we can have a great race.
A lot of great memories, and they've been building on them even during this season. We'll see how they can finish out, as it's going to be Ryan Kelly, Jake Nichols up front. Pace car heads into pit road. The rest of the field backed up, ready to go. Chase race number 5 at North Wilkesboro about to get underway. Ryan Kelly enters into the restart zone, and we are green. Big wheel spins to the 31 of Thomas Green. Gonna be forcing it 3 wide deeper in the field, but up front already gone and ahead. Gonna be the 3 of Ryan Kelly as he exits out of turn number 2.
Great start from Ryan Kelly, exactly what we were expecting. He's able to get clear of Jake Nichols and lead this first lap. And yeah, it was a huge wheel spin for the 31 machine off the start, but great lap led by the number 3 machine. That's another point for himself. Jake Nichols, you can see already to the outside, going to get the outside run and around Ryan Kelly from the looks of it, but they are side by side going into turn 3.
And the outside run was something drivers were practicing during the practice section. They were trying to figure out, was the outside going to be usable? And they found that you can make a lot of big passes up there, and Jake Nichols will lead that last lap and put down the fastest time for himself so far here for the race, as the 73 working the outside groove, who's willing to use up a little bit more rubber to make sure that he is solidified up front. Wants to get that extra bonus point of the most laps led. The 73 already where he wants to be.
I think that's the biggest thing, is finding out where the tire wear is going to be affected the most. Probably using that outside line might use a little bit more tire wear. You're going to have the more speed and the momentum to get the pass done. But like you were saying, how much of that tire are you willing to give up in the longer set of things? As Brian McCann, he's looking to the outside of number 3, not quite there, but Thomas Green back here in the Hornets nest around Jarrett Talmadge and the 15 machine of Vincent Sora.
Yeah, and drivers are trying to make some big moves right here in this group. And a driver that wishes he was part of this pack, Cedric Hunter, big slide about 3 laps ago off of turn 4, just accelerating a little bit too aggressively. Throttle control going to be a big factor here tonight as Cedric's back in 17th position. But Thomas Green, Jarrett Talmadge, hoping to have a clean run here. And, you know, I was talking to some of the drivers, getting some notes on how they were feeling entering tonight. Jarrett Talmadge, he was trying to figure out his force feedback, was actually having some issues during practice. I believe he got them fixed up, but having a lack of force feedback on these initial practice laps obviously can affect a driver when you're trying to figure out how this vehicle is going to feel, as Gavin Rogers currently runs in 6th place with Thomas Green right behind him, and these drivers trying to find their footing 7 laps in, and already getting a good feeling of the early run here at North Wilkesboro on this such a unique course.
It's a very unique course. I mean, you're uphill on the backstretch, downhill on the front stretch. It's actually not a completely level track. So it's another interesting little fact about North Wilkesboro, is you're going uphill and downhill on the front stretch or the backstretch. It's very different from a lot of the other tracks, but I mean, you see Gavin Rogers currently, he's starting to fall back a little bit. He might be trying to save for the longer run. As you see Brian McCann and Jarrett Talmadge, they're trying to make their run up to the front. As Brian McCann looking low on Larry Yingling, but he's going to have the run. He's going to be able to clear him and stay in front. Gavin Rogers getting challenged by the 31 of Thomas Green, who gets into the wall a little bit there himself. Thomas Green touching the wall going into turn 1.
Getting a little bit of a help up there. You don't want to run into the wall very often, but with the fact that that was heading into turn number 1, that is a great spot if you want to get a slight boost off the exit of the corner. Wall tapping at the apex certainly can help you out there, as seeing the drivers still trying to utilize that outside run in all different varieties of lanes to be utilized here tonight. That's what this repaved surface is kind of allowing drivers to go around, search where they want to be. But like the older surface that we were originally given of North Wilkesboro was kind of, you almost always wanted to run low. With this resurfacing outside of turn 1, it's also got a little bit of use to be seen here, as everyone now trying to get into a lane on the inside.
Trying to make that inside line work. It does look like Brian McCann is going to stay next to the 27 and Jarrett Talmadge. Kind of looking like the tires might be falling off ever so slightly, as Brian McCann is doing a great job keeping Talmadge beside him. Talmadge is going to be able to clear him. He is really using this outside line to try to make his way to the front, just like Larry Yingling also, who has moved up to the 2nd spot.
Yeah, Larry Yingling trying to make a statement race here tonight for the 67. This is probably the best that we've seen him run in the early goings. Larry has been really struggling from the start of these races a lot this season, kind of in a mid-packer which has been a shocking thing to see from a driver who notoriously was known for being up front every race. It didn't matter what track you went to in the early years of the WSSR Cup Series, but trying to make a statement here in the final 2 races of the season. And seeing the 3-time champ running well is a treat to see as Ryan McCann, Thomas Green continue to go back and forth for this battle for 5th.
Yeah, this battle for 5th is not being given up easily. Brian McCann trying to make this inside line work, but Thomas Green, he's trying to be followed by Vincent Sora on the outside. He should have the momentum to get around on a brake machine, and that opens the door for the 15 machine of Sora as well. Sora going to look to the outside of the 8 and try to make his way to the front now as well.
Just looks like that you're being rewarded so much here in the early going on the outside. But again, if we get into a long green flag run, a lot of drivers were curious, would we even get to that stage of the race where tire wear was going to be a big factor? Was it pretty even on the inside and outside? I think we're assuming drivers on the inside saving their tires a little bit better than those that are ripping that middle groove. This is going to be a thing to watch out for, and we've seen a lot of long run racing as the last 3 races we have gone caution free. Last time we had a yellow was back in February 18th at New Hampshire when we had to go to overtime and had the close racing action. I mean, not overtime, but had close racing action between drivers for the incredible Jarrett Talmadge and Ryan Kelly finish, as that was a fantastic side-by-side, just by 6/1000th of a second finish that we had between those drivers. And right now, seeing the action, keeping it close as Vincent Sora continues to rip the top, and heading backwards is still Ryan Kelly.
Ryan Kelly's still moving backward, but Ryan Kelly, we have known him for being a very good long-run driver, able to save his tires extremely well. So he might know something that maybe we don't know, or the other drivers don't really care about as much, as he has really not moved from that bottom line. And he just kind of stuck his car there and hasn't really moved since the start of this race.
It just feels like a complete flip-flop of teammates. It looks like Larry Yingling is following the Ryan Kelly footsteps that we've seen the last few weeks, and then it looks like for Ryan Kelly in the 3, he's using the Larry Yingling back off and save my tires. And here's something new for tonight's race. You can see on the bottom bar, those are your current live points. That's accounting for the pole, that's accounting for laps led. The 1 point bonus point it's not accounting for is a race win. If you win the race, you get 2 extra bonus points. But right now, if the championship was to hypothetically end right now, it would be Jake Nichols taking that championship, just a 3-point advantage over Ryan Kelly. And you can see the rest of the field. Our top 4 were the close ones in points that we were really watching out for. But you can see John Forbes in 5th, Vincent Sora 6th in points. They need a lot of help if they want to catch up to Jake Nichols, our current points leader based off of live points right now.
Yeah, they definitely need a lot of help, and they've got to help themselves also. In order for them to maximize their points, they have to move forward. Now, we've been seeing Vincent Sora do just that, work in the outside line, trying to follow Thomas Green around, use his line and pass these cars one by one as well, but they've got to move their way to the front and get around these guys if they want to maximize their opportunity to try and chase down the leader in points of Ryan Kelly. But, I mean, they've also got to hope a little bit for some misfortune for the drivers ahead of them as well.
Jared Talmadge, Larry Yingling side by side here for 2nd place. And Jared Talmadge, currently one of our biggest movers right now, up 5 positions, make it 6th when he has the nose ahead over Yingling from where he qualified back in 8th place. And that's kind of been a weird thing to see from the 27, but you don't want to be making that close a contact between drivers, as Jared Talmadge got to be close, apex of the corner, kind of just drifting up ever so slightly. With the different ways you're approaching turns 1 and 2, we are seeing these drivers get a little bit too antsy. They got to be careful not to overdo it, as once again, that apex of 1 and 2, Talmadge is getting close to the drivers on the outside.
Yeah, Talmadge is really driving the entrance to turn 1 and 2. It is pushing his car up, following the car in front of him, getting extremely close to getting into the side of the 67 machine of Yingling, but doing a good job keeping the car off other cars, kind of forcing Thomas Green up there as well. But he gets a really nice straight drive off the turn. It helps him get the momentum that usually the guys would have on the outside. But now we are 2 by 2 here. Larry Yingling, Jarrett Talmadge, Vincent Sora, and Thomas Green all side by side as they come out of 4.
And this is exactly what Jake Nichols wants to see, who just put down a 20.0 second lap. Oh no! And Jarrett Talmadge All the risk, all the reward thrown away. And it's the 27 breaking the caution-free streak as he goes around on lap 29 and take it all away. Here is going to be your replay of Thomas Green getting in the back bumper of the 27 and looping him around.
Yeah, it definitely looked like just Thomas Green might have been carrying a little bit too much speed and barely taps the 27, but when you're putting a lot of wheel on this car, and even like we've been talking about for a long time, the wedge shape of the nose of these cars and the rear bumper, the way it's so high, it just kind of lifts the rear end up ever so slightly and just spins the number 27 around. Just a small tap and around he goes, and we're on to our first caution since New Hampshire.
Crazy to see, but I think all drivers, they had the mental note of we most likely were going to see a caution here tonight. The question was, at what time? Was it going to be in the first half? Was it going to be in the second half? The aggression level was going to ramp up, and big moves all around. As this replay's a little bit far back as we go another lap around, but you see the hard racing. These guys were right on top of one another right before the contact was made. And as we are watching this replay of the back bumper of the 27, right before he got spun around from Thomas Green, right there was the contact that looped him around. He did a pretty good job of keeping it off the wall as much as possible, but we will have most of the field deciding to head into pit road to do not. That is going to be Seth Knoll, Ryan Noel, going to be the two drivers deciding not to pit here this evening.
Yeah, deciding not to pit, they're going to be out front. And actually, that rear bumper view of that incident was a perfect show of what the front end of the cars can do to the rear end. You see the car just lift up ever so slightly, but fantastic work from Jared Talmadge. Keeps the car out of the wall, minimal to no damage, I think, between the two drivers. So fantastic work for both of them.
And now they're going to just reset and get ready for this upcoming run. All drivers were given 4 extra sets of tires to work with in pit road. And I was curious if we were going to see drivers 33 laps in who was going to be tempted to take a set of tires. And I think everyone's recognizing, hey, if you want to be up front, you got to make sure you've got decent tires to be able to defend, to fight going forward. And that's why we're seeing all the drivers reset. We're going to extend this caution for another lap. Reason why, Zach Hall in the 32 had to stay on the outside, came to a stop, and that will keep us rolling for an extra lap as we get ready to take off and go. Zach Hall in the 32 will be our first driver going 1 lap down as he stayed in pit road for extended times for repairs. As Seth Knoll, Brian Noel, it's going to be a 31 lap difference on tires. It's going to be our first real test to see, okay, what does the tire difference truly look like with this small little pack of drivers we're going to be seeing? Because Seth Knoll wasn't up front challenging, nor was Brian Noel. They're going to have the fast drivers behind them aggressively wanting to get to the lead as quick as possible.
Yeah, these guys that just pit, they're going to try to get around them as quick as possible, like you were saying, but we're definitely going to see what the tire wear difference is going to be on this restart.
Well, here we go. First caution is thrown for this evening, and our first restart is underway. We saw a massive wheel spin under our first start of the night, and it certainly saw a little bit there in row number 2 for Jake Nichols. Nichols, though, gets the run, sees his Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers ride high, and the 73 runs low. Chuck Sweeting issues in the back, goes around, it's the 57, and it heads right into pit road. We stay green as he was off the racing surface.
Oh, off the racing surface and a perfect slide into the pit road. Kept himself off the wall as well. I don't think you could have been any more lucky than that, but still an unfortunate move for him. Just great. Just got turned a little bit on the backstretch and a perfect slide straight into the pit road entrance.
Incredible as Chuck Sweeting just gets a small little tap from the 7 of John Forbes, and that's what loops him around. And just missing the entry of the pit barrels. As all of that replay was going on, Chuck Sweeting leaves pit road after getting a little bit of a drive through that experience, what pit road was like for the second time tonight. Up front, seeing Jake Nichols, Larry Yingling, they're already going to be 1-2. Falling quickly is the 23 that you see on screen. Stuck in the middle, heading backwards is Seth Knoll. And he is certainly trying to find his footing as Ollie Fonseca goes for a massive slide for the 24. Holds on, and we stay green once again.
Wow, some fantastic wheelmanship by a lot of these drivers. The 00 looked like he got in the back of the 24 machine going into the turn. and it sent Ollie into the turn completely sideways, but he was able to do some great work, some great wheeling with that car, kept it straight, kept it going, and we're still under green flag racing.
Under green flag conditions, and some of those drivers with older tires are just fading quickly. Noel's about to be passed and sent outside of the top 10. Ryan Noel was already knocked outside of the top 10 and now is back in 15th position. There's contact with Ollie Fonseca, and just seeing the tires are important here tonight. That's going to be a big note to watch out for Noel as well as Noel. How will that help them potentially later on in this race if we see more cautions and we've seen more tire usage and drivers utilizing all 4 sets they were given in pit road here tonight? But so far, Jake Nichols leads the way, and for Larry Yingling in the 67, I'm curious for himself. Doesn't have to worry about making any passes up front. He's 2/10 back and trying to find the footing to run down the 73.
Yeah, Larry Yingling seems very, very comfortable at this track, really confident. He is pretty much right on the bumper of Jake Nichols. This is not something that we've seen from Larry Yingling all season, really. He's always got some speed near the beginning, but being able to stay up here and challenge, be here in second place, he's doing a fantastic job tonight. He just seems extremely comfortable here at Wilkesboro.
He certainly is, and what makes sense. I mean, last season when we ran here at North Wilkesboro, Larry Yingling grabbed the pole, led the most laps, led 117 laps out of 200. Here tonight, he wants to get up front and be that driver to lead, and also he's looking for redemption. The driver that won last season wasn't Larry. It was actually Douglas Newbigin that took that victory, and Douglas made the pass on the last lap to only have 1 lap led that evening. So I think for Larry, a win here tonight certainly would feel like redemption after the way that last season's North Wilkesboro's race finished out.
That is such a heartbreaking statistic to hear. You lead that many laps just to be passed on the last lap for the guy to win the race with only 1 lap led. But it's not an uncommon thing to happen. Unfortunate for Larry Yingling that it happened to him. But yeah, like you said, he's out here for redemption. He wants to take the crown back from this track. But the downside is he's got Jake Nichols, one of the most dominant drivers we've had this season, right in front of him. But he is right on the rear bumper of that 73 machine.
Right there, putting the pressure, and this is like I said, the best we've seen Larry look like here in the early goings of a race, not waiting to save up for his tires for later on in a run, trying to show the aggression early, and wants to put the pressure on this 73 machine. And really, I think for Larry, you got to think he's not racing for a championship. His teammate, Brian Kelly, also another teammate, Brian McCann, they're both running for this championship. Both are some of the favorites besides Jake Nichols to win this thing. For Larry Yingling, I mean, he's playing the aggressor, trying to force a mistake from the 73 here tonight. And that's the big thing when it comes to short tracks. Minimize those mistakes, and you can find yourself in a victory lane or just with a good finish. But if you're forced to make anything, your night can be ended in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's exactly what Larry Yingling's trying to do, is also just force a mistake from the 73, which has not been a common thing that we have seen this season at all from him. Jake Nichols, very minimal mistakes, if any, this season. He's had very few people put the pressure on him, but Larry Yingling doing a great job. But we got the fight right now between the 15 and the 3 machine. Vincent Sora has caught up to Ryan Kelly and is trying to put the pressure on the 3 so he can get some points to close that gap between him and himself in the points.
Ryan Kelly grabbed the pole here tonight. He automatically just dropped back to 5th, and at one moment actually was all the way back in 7th place. Currently just hovering in 5th place at this moment is the 3 machine, as Vincent Sora looking high, looking low. Where is an opportunity to get by this 3 machine? And looks like it's just settle where you're at. Not really seeing our top 6 lose touch to our leader, and much closer than they were during that first run, as the field has been out on this set of tires for 20 laps now. And you can see that early apex. Vincent Sora trying to get the run down to the inside for the 3, and that was a perfect setup out of 2 to set up for the pass to make the challenge. And now going to be clear off the exit turn 4. Vincent Sora, that's how you get a pass done here in North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, that was a beautiful set-up pass from Vincent Sora. Able to get a fantastic run out of turn 2, which set up the hard dive into turn 3, allowing him to clear the number 3 machine out of 4. But right back here with Gavin Rogers, he has fallen back to the 8th position, being challenged by Chris Stitz on his rear bumper as well. Gavin Rogers realistically is out of mathematical shot to win this championship. So the number one curse strikes again, it seems like. We'll jump back now to Jarrett Talmadge, who is making his way back up from the spin that brought out the caution.
Yeah, I got that rear end lifted from Thomas Green that forced the 27 to spin out and bring out our caution here tonight. Up to 10th. A long journey for Talmadge to get back up front near our top 5, as well as other drivers that are trying to make a recovery run. Here's going to be the 13 of Cedric Hunter, who had a big self-slide in those first 5 laps of the race. That forced him to go all the way back to last place, but we're trying to get some of these positions back as he qualified in 9th position. But Ali Fonseca, after his contact being slid and pushed around from Brian Noel, he's now going to work on the outside groove, make the pass cleanly on Hunter. And Ollie has been a driver that we've seen for the chase. He certainly has improved. He's a driver that has been doing a great job going for the top 10s early in the races, usually in the top 5s. This has been awesome to see Ollie's progression as a driver here in the WSSR Cup Series, where he kind of was just a top 15 driver. If he got the top 15, that was a good day. He's been fighting to make sure he's in that top 10 most weeks.
Yeah, Ali Fonseca has done a really good job increasing his skill this season. And I think one of the biggest things with Ollie is his defensive driving. He's able to defend his spot extremely well. And I think you could compare him almost to, like that of Ross Chastain in the real NASCAR racing, where it's really tough to get by him. He's going to pinch you down. He's going to take away the lines to pass. But now we have a challenge up here. Brian McCann looking to the outside of the 15 machine of that of Vincent Sora. He's trying to make the pass and not allow Vincent Sora to move up any more positions.
Another great run and setup position for Vincent Sora as he'll slot his way into 4th place. Next 2 on the docket, going to be Larry Yingling and Thomas Green for Vincent Sora to try to get by, and they have lost touch to Jake Nichols, who's now up to a 1.3 second gap over Larry Yingling as he exits out of 4. You can see the competition behind him, but that type of a gap is massive when you come to a short track. It's almost the full straightaway that we're seeing Jake Nichols be ahead. And then 73 trying to get back into his winning ways. Last time that he was in victory lane was all the way back at Rockingham. And no surprise, Jake Nichols being quick at a short track. He has shown that he can be quick at these types of courses and trying to get his 7th win of the season as well, to be take the stamp that he is the leader in points. As he entered the chase as the points leader, he would love to leave the penultimate race of the season as the points leader into Homestead.
Yeah, it was really interesting because Jake Nichols, he even said going into the chase, like all the tracks really fit his style of racing, and he just hasn't really been able to dominate much of the races. He's been able to get past. His strategy calls just haven't been in his favor. So it's good to see him back into the leading and dominating a race fashion here at North Wilkesboro. And going out of this race to be the points leader, that is definitely something that's going to help his momentum going into the final race of the season. But Larry Yingling doing a good job holding strong into the 2nd spot here. Thomas Green, though, looking low, should have some great momentum coming down the backstretch and down into turn 3. Should be able to clear him, and Vincent Sora will follow suit.
Vincent Sora going to be there, as well as Brad McCann and Ryan Kelly, trying to close in the gap the best that they can. As the 31 is clear, and the 15 as well going to get by Yingling. And Yingling showing you can be aggressive on those tires, but to keep pace with Jake Nichols, at what cost is it worth it? As Thomas Green in the 31, early contact, spun around the 27 of Jared Talmadge, but since that contact's been moving forward once again, up just 1 spot from where he qualified, and doing a great job for himself. We fall back to Jared Talmadge, runs in 10th place, and another driver on his list to get by. There's going to be the 17 to Chris Stitz, runs on the outside groove, and the driver who entered tonight 3rd in points, still 3rd in points based off our live point tracker. And Jake Nichols just up 2 points over Ryan Kelly. Kelly would love to grab some of these positions back as he runs in 6th position.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly has got up to the bumper of Larry Yingling, who has been slowly, actually quickly fading now in this long run. 37 laps into this run here. But Ryan Kelly looking low, trying to get around his teammate of the number 67 machine. But you got number 7 of John Forbes. He's also right there trying to make a move as well. Ryan Kelly needs to get back up and pass some of these guys in front of him to try and maintain that lead in points.
And with that pass, it's going to be 1 point behind. Now, this is based off of pole point being given out to Ryan Kelly, as well as a lap led and most laps led. Those are all 1 point in each. The 1 point that is not being offered currently on our live tracker, that is the race win, which is technically 2 points given to our race winner. So you could technically, add 2 points to Jake Nichols, so then it would be just a 3 point difference if the race ended right now. But, talking about dominance, the last time we really saw Jake Nichols dominating a race, it actually was the first race of the chase at New Hampshire. Jake Nichols was bound to win that race. He had almost a 10-second lead, and then a late caution came out that reset the field. Some different choices on who was going to take 4 tires, 2 tires, no tires, really changed up the setting, and Jake Nichols went from leading the race, should have been a win, to then fading to 6th at the end of the day. That is going to be the big thing here tonight. Jake Nichols looks dominant, as that cap is now up to 2.8 seconds. But a late caution could change everything here, as we're 72 laps in out of 200. And here's another pass for Vincent Sora as he's trying to get by Thomas Green here for second.
Yeah, Vincent Sora is doing a great job again. He is a long shot for winning this championship, but he's doing everything right now, getting around as many cars as he possibly can. The biggest thing is he has got to make his way up front and challenge for this win at some point in time. So I think one thing he's going to hope for possibly is maybe a caution to help get him close enough to the leader, because right now just Jake Nichols is just kind of walking off and leaving this field.
It certainly is, and this is a concerning thing to see for this group, as Ryan Kelly, John Forbes getting a little bit frisky, back battling for 5th place as the 7, trying to find a chance to get by the 3. And been seeing all these drivers find a team, pick a team, and you're probably gonna be saying either Lucky Duck Motorsports Category 5 or Cody Glencock's Music racing team. Those have been the big 3 that have been going back and forth, brawling for the best in team points, as well as who's going to take the overall championship. As you're seeing Larry Yingling, all those beat up tires, trying to stay strong, but Yingling just doesn't have anything, as Jarrett Talmadge is now caught up to the main pack. And here we go for the 27. He's got to get by Yingling quick, and then get by everyone else just as fast.
What's been really impressive is Jarrett Talmadge has been consistently one of the fastest cars on the track, even after 45 laps in. He is doing everything possible to get through this field as quick as he can. And I think if the caution comes out, or if he can get up in front of these guys and use a lot of really strong strategy calls in the pits, he could have a very strong potential to challenge Jake Nichols for the win tonight.
And that was one of the strengths I was kind of hearing. I was kind of just sitting in, listening to the Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers and how they were practicing, trying to figure out, okay, was it the outside, inside, where do we want to be to really protect their tires? And Jarrett Talmadge was that driver that really felt like he was finding something to save his tires, to have a better long run than everyone else. And he's showing it right here for himself. Brian McCann trying to work on the outside groove to get by Vincent Sora, who is starting to lose the rear end for the 15. From challenging for second to falling to 4th, the 15 is starting to lose track, looking very similar to Larry Yingling, to where once those tires hit a certain point, it is a cliff. It just falls off and you have no grip to work with. And Brian McCann works the top, gets by Sora, and Sora now trying to defensively hold back John Forbes, which the 7 looks good, just ripping the top.
Yeah, 7's doing a fantastic job. And Vincent Sora, this is one thing I've watched him race. I've raced with him for the longest time, for a very long time. And Vincent Sora, this season specifically, I don't know if he's just trying to push a little bit too much, but I have seen him lose the rear tires quite a bit this season as well. So, I mean, you could tell he is using every ounce of, grip that car could potentially have to try to catch up. But he is now being challenged by the number 7 machine of John Forbes Jr. He's trying not to give that position up and try to move back forward, but he's lost positions and it might lose more here.
And Brian McCann also going to be making a pass 2 rows of 2x2. Seeing for a moment as Thomas Green, talk about Vincent Sora using up all the grip that he's got in those tires. Thomas Green using up the wall once again. Has had a middle point of 1 and 2, sneaks up once again, and this is very much in the point where drivers got to be concerned. A caution coming out at this point really shake things up for this field, and with how this pack is starting to close in, 2nd all the way back to 9th. They're so jam-packed. This is what brought out our caution the first time, of drivers just being on top of one another, and just one small bump scooping up the driver ahead of you is what brought out the yellow. Who might make the mistake, as Jarrett Talmadge has done a fabulous job. Now up to 6th place, and now hounding Vincent Sora's back bumper, gets underneath them, and here we go, down into 3.
Yeah, Talmadge again now past quite a few drivers, challenging the 15 machine. He is on rails, it seems like, and following his Lucky Duck teammate of John Forbes through this field. Jarrett Talmadge could be someone everyone's got to worry about. He wants to try to solidify his chance to win this championship for next week as well with the way he's driving tonight.
And we're starting to see a couple of drivers look faster than Jake Nichols based off of last laps being ran. Last few laps, a couple of drivers have been within a couple of hundredths to a tenth faster than Jake Nichols. The only problem, this pack is 4 seconds back from our leader, who's on his own zip code, as everyone from 2nd back to 9th place are brawling at this moment. I mean, look at this aerial shot. You could put a blanket over those 5 drivers, and just one mistake, one just little braking zone off, you're taking somebody with you.
Yeah, just one slight mistake. I mean, even if Brian McCann gets in the back of Thomas Green, that spins him out in front of these 5 drivers here, and that could spell disastrous for a lot of our championship drivers. So they've got to be very careful, but also try and be as aggressive as they can to get around each other, as Jarrett Talmadge is now challenging the 7 machine. They got really close there on the front stretch. Thomas Green also seems to be losing a little bit of pace as he went low and lost a ton of time to the 8 machine.
And we'll drop back now to John Forbes. These are Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers now going to be side by side. See how much Thomas Green really wants to fight John Forbes here. Again, Forbes was one of those drivers that entered tonight 10 points back from Ryan Kelly. A good evening for the 7 could put him back into a fighting chance for tonight's race. Well, he needs to get up front and leading this run so far. Jake Nichols currently on pace to lead the most laps here tonight, which could be a crushing blow if you're a driver like John Forbes, Brian McCann, and Vincent Sora that need that extra bonus point. Your driver's going to make the decision to head into pit road. That's going to be Brian Noel. Ben Keeney might be calling it a night for himself. And as well, Ali Fonseca was spotted entering pit road and about to exit out. So pit stops might be calling for a few drivers if you've really tore up your tires aggressively throughout this run.
Yeah, they're definitely, coming in, getting some new rubber. They feel like they just don't have the pace anymore. Ben Keeney's been on pit road for a good 7.5 minutes himself. So Ben Keeney must have called it a night. But yeah, we're getting to that point where the tire life is starting to fade from these drivers, especially the ones that have pushed extremely hard. But, I mean, you got these guys, they are still racing side by side and really hard against each other, as Jarrett Talmadge is able to get around the number 8 machine of Brian McCann. Jarrett Talmadge from the back to 2nd place after 62 laps of racing.
And that last lap, a little bit of a hiccup going on for Jake Nichols. He lost a bit of time compared to the competition. And this could be the swing that is happening right now. Jarrett Talmadge now up to 2nd. He ran 2 tenths faster last lap. This last go around, 3 tenths. This 27 is ripping and putting down some burner laps compared to our leader, and has almost cut it down by a whole second under the last 3 laps. This has been incredible to watch from Jarrett Talmadge. Jake Nichols, on the other hand, you got to be thinking, did he use up all of his tires? Is this his true pace, or is he saving something, as Jarrett Talmadge is using everything he has to catch up to that 73?
Yeah, Talmadge lap times, I mean, they really haven't fallen off from what he was doing earlier through the field. So, I mean, he's still just running his race, running the pace he was running earlier. So it could just be Jake Nichols knows he's got a massive gap, could just be saving a little bit of the tires or even fuel. But Jarrett Talmadge is definitely gaining on Jake Nichols, almost 2 tenths a lap.
Certainly is just digging right now is the 27, Ali Fonseca, who got fresh rubber. We'll see if he decides to climb his way through this. He's in the middle of this mixture. Then you can see that purple 24 just peeking in the middle of all that grouping, trying to see where he wants to go, and he'll run on the inside, try to get by John Forbes and set up to get by Brian McCann, and having a lap car kind of influence this group. I'm curious on how much this might help or hurt these drivers around them, as Brian McCann will stay low. Fonseca just showing the difference on tires. This is what 60 lap fresher tires looks like compared to the rest of the field. And this puts into question, if you can't make it on fuel to the end and you've got to make a pit stop here tonight for this field, who's going to make the undercut pit stop? Because we've seen that in the past. Whoever pits the sooner of our front runners gets rewarded massively.
Yeah, we've definitely noticed that pit stops have been a huge strategy swing for a lot of these drivers. If you're able to maintain a good pace and pit a little bit later, you have the better pace to be able to catch up later in the race as well. But I mean, it's going to be a really tough decision for these drivers tonight. We're going to have to see what they decide on doing, because Jared Talmadge, he is still tearing down this track and catching Jake Nichols. He is only 2 seconds back now from the 73 machine.
Heading into pit road of our front five, going to be Brian McCann into pit road. So he will be the first driver to take an opportunity here on lap 100 for the 8 machine. Able to go 69 to 70 laps was the call for the 8 machine. This is going to be a decision for most of the field. When do you decide to pit? And right now, Jake Nichols, Jared Talmadge, the difference has been split in half. At one moment, Jake Nichols had a gap of over 4 seconds to second place. It's now down to 1.6 seconds. At last lap, Jake Nichols has just hit a cliff. He has really seen a massive fall off on his times. It's been about a 2 to 3 tenths each lap for the past 8 laps. This is wild to see as Nichols continues to try to run a similar cornering to Jared Talmadge. Talmadge, though, he's apexing sooner. He's able to get that car lower throughout the corner, while Nichols is just stuck running that second groove compared to everyone else.
He is stuck running that second groove. And you know what's really impressive also? The 23 car, Seth Noel, still has not hit 103 laps on the track and running times that are matching Jake Nichols. So the 23 machine trying a one-stop strategy, it seems like. But Jared Talmadge here doing a great job down on the low side of the turn, coming out of turn 4, down the front stretch. He is closing in on the leader of the 73 machine. A fantastic line from this 27 car. And he's just gaining, just a tenth here and a tenth there each and every single lap.
This has been great to see. Another driver going to be heading into pit road. Going to be Chris Stitz. Problem though, black flag speeding on entry for the 17, so he'll have quite a long hold for himself. One driver that's losing quite a bit of time, and he's just floundering to stay up, keep the car pointing in the right direction, is Vincent Sora currently, as he is now fallen all the way back to 7th after at one moment challenging for second place. But there's the gap. For the first time in over 70 laps, we now see first and second on course in the same camera shot. It has been wild to see all this time just cut away. And for Jake Nichols, I mean, he's been trying his best to find something in these tires, but Jared Talmadge has caught up, and the 27 is here now, challenging the leader on lap 108. This has been so fantastic to see from Jared, who is carrying the confidence from practice. Felt like he was going to have the long run. That's where his strength was going to be, and he's proving it right now.
Yeah, this is an impressive run for the 27 machine of Talmadge, right on the back bumper of his teammate and challenger. Pretty much the points leader so far based on how the race has ran, but they are side by side going into turn 3 and 4, and it looks like Talmadge will be able to clear and lead this lap from Jake Nichols.
I mean, you got to think, for Jared Talmadge, this isn't just like he was running second all throughout this run. He had to pass the whole field to get up to this position. He was the cause of caution. He got spun around, sent to the back, and now is leading here on lap 110. Jared Talmadge, what a surge for yourself. Now it's going to be seeing Brian Noel, lap down driver, trying to get another lap back. And here's your live points if it was the finish right here, and your difference between the top 3. If you give the extra bonus point of the win to Jared Talmadge, which is 2 extra bonus points, It would be a 1-point difference between our top 3 heading into Homestead.
That is impressive from Jarrett Talmadge. He is dominating this track now. He's, like you said, you heard him say he found something in practice, and he is showing whatever he found, he is utilizing extremely well, as he is still yet to pit. It's going to be really interesting to see when these top runners are going to come down pit road for their final time, as these guys have been out for 82 laps. They're getting to that point to where they can make one more pit stop and make it the rest of the race.
Vincent Sora, who just made his pit stop, now going to be dropping to the inside to make the pass. It's going to give space for Brian Noel to now follow in suit, as he wasn't sure where Jared Talmadge was going to be running. And this is incredible to see, as Ryan Kelly was seeing some of those other drivers make their pit stops. It's now given Kelly a few more points to now get into the points lead. Again, these are live points, not accounting for the race winning. 2 points that we give into the race winner. And this is what we've been seeing for most of this chase. Green flag racing, green flag pit stops, and this is the make or break. We've already seen one driver get hit with a holding penalty, being Chris Stitz. That is something you cannot happen here tonight, is have a hold penalty. As we move our camera over to the 23, Seth Noel, excuse me. This is just as impressive of what Jarrett Talmadge did. This 23 is yet to pit, and he's right there, keeping it close within 8 seconds to our leader.
Yeah, that is an impressive run from Seth himself in the 23 Tire Pros machine there. Sitting back currently in the 8th spot, but his times aren't really far off from what the leaders are running either. And to be out there as long as he has been, 116 laps, that is just an unprecedented amount of time to be out on the track without coming down pit lane yet.
Yeah, but the only thing that's kind of an issue for the 23 is that the time that those tires finally hit a plateau and equaled out, it was about 60 laps into a run. So the leaders, they are going to need a massive switch up, and here's going to be some drivers making some pit stops. Thomas Green overshot his box, had to back up just slightly for the 31. So that's going to be a little bit of lost time for himself. Vincent Sora, one of the early pit stop takers. We'll see how the 15 is rewarded, as he pitted for Vincent Sora 7 laps ago, and he is trying to build a lead to where the rest of the field can't catch up to him. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult once we see our leaders pit, but that's going to be in the back of their mind. If you cannot stretch to the end of this race, which we're not expecting them to do so, as here we go, Ryan Kelly now heading into pit road. The field, you better think about pitting soon. I know you don't want to be waiting too long, because you got to catch those drivers that have already pitted.
Yeah, they've got to get down pit roads. Jake Nichols, he's in pit road now. He's getting some fresh rubber. Jarrett Talmadge, he can't allow this much time between. There he is, coming down pit road now. He's coming to service the leader, number 27, into pit road. It's time for him to get fuel and tires at the end of this race.
And Gavin Rogers going to stay out. Larry Yingling probably going to continue on with his trend that he's been doing for most of the chase, which is stay out until you run out of fuel and bank on a caution, which a caution would be massive. Most of the field trapped 1 lap down. Parts of the field going to be 2 laps down when they decide to make their pit stop. And once the pit cycle concludes, that's when we're going to really see who went a lap down or not. But for Gavin Rogers, Larry Yingling, Seth Knoll, as well as going to be Cedric Hunter, Brian McCann. Brian McCann has already pitted, as he was the first one to head into pit road. Currently runs 5th. We'll see where they can hold off, because the differences in time are quite great. I mean, it's crazy to see. Brian McCann has a 7-second lead over Alden Fonseca. John Forbes is back, and Larry Yingling goes around. There's the caution, and that's the you don't want to see moment for some of these drivers that already pitted.
Oh, that is so unfortunate for all the guys that pit. Larry Yingling spins around basically right in front of the leaders, and that brings out caution number 2 for the night. I think the driver that's going to benefit heavily from this is the number 8 machine of Brian McCann, as he got back on the lead lap and has already made his pit stop, so he could potentially be the leader of this race after this.
Contact was made between the 67 of Yingling to the 23. And you're going to see it here. Ollie Fonseca on the outside. They're just close. A little bit of contact. Gets the 67 loose, and then right on the rear end. Hard contact on the nose. And we'll see if the 23 making his pit stop, first one of the night, ran 124 laps clean and green, clean for himself until that moment. Freshies are going to be nice for the 23 of Knoll, as up front, Brian McCann going to be the driver who stays out. And this is going to be a call for a lot of the field. Wave rounds expected for most of them, and this is really going to hurt those that pitted sooner than those that just pitted recently.
Oh, Brian McCann is actually taking his pit stop. I guess he decides to come in now. That should give a lot of these drivers their wave around now. So, interesting late pit by Brian McCann also. I was expecting him to pit with the other lead lap cars, but later waited one extra lap.
Yeah, I think might have missed pit entry. This is a different from what the old configuration of North Wilkesboro was, where you were able to pit on the front stretch. That's where pit entry was. This time with the repave, you actually have to enter pit road entering turn 3, which sometimes when there's a different spot to enter pit road can trip up some drivers. And with pitting later, we will see the 8 and a few other drivers potentially have to go to the end of the line with a penalty for themselves. But we are past halfway. We're in those. This is going to be the moment of, did we just have our final green flag long run, or are we about to have a breakfast here in front of us?
Yeah, I think now the aggression's going to skyrocket for a lot of these drivers because there's no more pit stops that are needed the rest of this race. So they've all made their final pit stops, as long as they don't get any more cautions. But with, the guys trying to get their way up through the field, we could definitely see a lot more cautions come up as we're about to take the green flag.
Getting ready to go green, and most of the field is missing as they all had to take the wave around. Our top 5 were up front. Everyone else is missing as we will continue racing on from here. And Jake Nichols and a few others going to be further on. Back in admins throw the yellow. They didn't like that start, and they will reset with this time of this yellow being thrown.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I mean, let the guys get in the wave around at least a chance to get back up to the field. I think it's the right call to throw the caution here to allow everyone to get a proper restart.
The only thing about this is now it takes away the advantage of those that pitted and were on the lead lap. They no longer will have that advantage. Everyone that just got the wave around with this caution now can head into pit road and get fresh rubber. So it throws all that away.
Yeah, that is going to be a benefit for them. I think extending the caution would have been the right call, but man, it's a good call to bring it back together. But I think, yeah, the benefit for the lead lap cars is now out the window with the lap down cars now able to get their service done.
We'll see how many of them are going to be taking the service here, as not expecting our top 5 to pit, and everyone else aiming to pit road to get service done, being led by Ali Fonseca, who was on 41 lap old tires and now will get the rewarded of that caution being thrown by the admins, able to head into pit road and get service done. Jake Nichols, also with the fact that all those drivers are now going to come into pit road and get service done, he gets rewarded with all of those positions back, as well as Jared Talmadge, though they'll slot up in the 6th and 7th, going to help their rebound he makes things a lot more easier now, starting in 6th and 7th instead of being back in 10th and 11th where they were.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier. Jarrett Talmadge, I think, if he can keep that pace that he had and Jake Nichols doesn't figure out what Jarrett had been doing, I think Jarrett Talmadge can really benefit from this heavily and be able to get back up to the front like he was. But he's still got some fast cars in front of him. He's got Brian McCann and Gavin Rogers, 2 guys that have been really fast all season also. So he's still got to get around them as well.
We've got the 1 to go indicator given to the field, so you better catch up and hope that we don't get another caution to reset this thing. As we do want to say thank you to more of the amazing sponsors that have partnered up for Season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series. We want to say thank you to Sim Precision Prints. If you're looking for 3D printed items, head on over to simprecisionprints.shop. And when purchasing, remember to use the promo code WSSR for $50 or more purchase. Thank you so much to Sim Precision Prints, who is our white flag sponsor. Green flag is out in the air. Gavin Rogers, Cedric Hunter going to be your front runners down into turn number 1. The rest of the field, they get ready, and Cedric drifted into Gavin, and oh no! Hard contact. They're still pointing straight, so we stay green. Oh, Chris Stitz goes around, and pandemonium Williams strikes with cold tires. Stitz finally gets rolling, but up front it's Larry Yingling now leading the way with Jake Nichols from 6th to 2nd in just a blink of an eye.
Jake Nichols up in prime position now in 2nd place. An unfortunate situation for Gavin Rogers. Did nothing wrong. Cedric Hunter over driving the turn, it seems like on cold tires. Drifted it through the turn and slides right up in front of Rogers himself. Heavy, heavy damage for the 1 machine and a 13 machine to fellow Kitty. Oh, unfortunate for both those drivers there.
Very tough. And for Cedric Hunter, that is required damage. He will go to pit road. Gavin Rogers as well, steering issues. He's sent to pit road, and that's how Chris Stitz goes spinning, is with Vincent Sora running into the 17. And black flags will be cleared for Chris Stitz, but a lot of drivers calling it an evening. Gavin Rogers officially out of this race, but we are green at this current moment. And we got to go back to that racing action. Main reason why Jake Nichols went from 2nd is now faltering back. Jared Talmadge has moved up into 3rd ahead of Nichols. You better hope that you're moving forward, because Jake Nichols, this is not where you want to go as he breaks a little bit loose. And this has been the trouble for the 73. When there's a late caution and he's not in control of it in the later on stages, he seems to fall back and does not have the best runs he could ask for.
He's not getting the entrances that he wants into the turns, and it's really hurting his pace. Jarrett Talmadge and Brian McCann were able to keep him on the bottom side of the track and allowed both of them to kind of drive right by him. But Jake Nichols trying to get the power down also when he was side by side. You saw him break a little loose, too much power coming out of the turn. And it's just unfortunate to see as he falls back now to 5th position. And he gets a bump from Ollie Fonseca, but he saves it and keeps it going straight as Ryan Kelly drives around him now as well.
Yeah, a small little tap, but a big save by the 73, and luckily everyone's able to get enough space. But that one pass for Ryan Kelly, massive for him to be grabbed. Now his next sight going to be catching up to Jared Talmadge. The big thing for Kelly here, minimize the loss of points. If you can be ahead of both Nichols and Talmadge at the end of this race, that is a victory heading into Homestead next week. But as long as you're within 1 to 2 positions, that's just as big of a big save of a night instead of finishing outside of the top 10.
I think Ryan Kelly's goal tonight really just needs to be stay in front of Jake Nichols. Jarrett Talmadge's pace is so good, it's going to be hard for him to catch back up unless he can figure out what Talmadge has been doing. But the goal right now, stay in front of Nichols. Keep him behind you to give you at least an advantage over him heading into next week at Homestead as well. So I think Ryan Kelly, as long as he can figure out a decent line, he should be able to stay in front of this 73 machine.
And Ryan Kelly, as well as Jake Nichols, both have led a lap. Nichols has really led the most laps so far here tonight, and trying to hope that he continues to hold on to that bonus point. As Larry Yingling now up front leading these laps. The 73 has done everything right, and it just fell apart with that end of the pit cycle moment. And now trying to find a way to get some of these positions back. The first time we've really seen the 73 this deep in the field during this scenario. And there is your time to shine, to get by some of this traffic. But it's so hard when everyone's running the same exact line, the same arcing movements. There really isn't that much difference to shake up at this time. Everyone's doing the same exact thing here, coming up to 50 laps to go.
Yeah, everyone's doing the same exact thing. At least that's what it looks like from our view and what you're seeing as well. But what we're not seeing is what these guys are doing inside the car. There's a whole bunch of, how they control the wheel, how much brake they're using, and how much throttle input they are feathering. That's how you save your tires. So they might look like they're all doing the same thing, but it's all who's saving the tires the most and what they're doing behind that wheel.
How can he save? How can he find advantages? Currently, 12 drivers are still racing out on track, as the drivers that have been sitting in pit road, Cedric Hunter, Gavin Rogers, Chris Stitz, Zach Hall, and Ben Keeney have all been sitting in pit road. Gavin Rogers, the first driver to officially leave the race. Ben Keeney's got a blown engine. He's out of this running as well. So 12 positions and different points can be grabbed if you find trouble. If you're Ryan Kelly, Jake Nichols, Jared Talmadge, John Forbes, Brian McCann, you do not want to get caught up in a wreck. But for John Forbes and McCann, the lack of positions that can be lost compared to your competition is hurting your chances for a championship. It is really turning this championship into just a 3-horse race. based off where everyone is running right now. And with everyone in line, do want to make a quick another shout out to some other sponsors. I want to say thank you to GTR Simulators. Head on over to gtrsimulators.com. Use the promo code WSSR at checkout for $100 or more used at gtrsimulators.com. Have the chance to upgrade your rig and race like the pros. If you want to find some compact version racing rigs or look for stationary rigs, they've got all different types for you to find at gtrsimulators.com. As Thomas Green gets passed by the 23, another driver going down, and another chance to see what does Seth Knoll have, because we really haven't seen Knoll on equal footing in quite a while. Maybe the 23 is making his statement of, you know what, let's see what I've got compared to the rest of the field, running in a different lane than everyone else and trying to see if there's a way to move forward going to the inside row.
Yeah, he's trying that inside line on 1 and 2, which is way different from what everybody else is doing, but he's doing a very aggressive entrance also. He's driving that car down onto the apron. You see right there, gets those left tires on the apron. That does help the car rotate a little bit. It allows him to get on the power ever so slightly a little bit earlier than a lot of people on the inside line. So he's running a very, very different but very aggressive inside approach to turn 1.
And Seth Knoll's coming into this race as a part-timer for Lucky Duck Motorsports. He's one of those drivers where his only goal is a win. A win or a top 5 is all that the 23 wants. And for all the other competition, it's look for a good win or finish here tonight. Ollie Fonseca could have put the pressure on Jake Nichols to the inside groove. Saw what Knoll was doing, thought maybe I'll give it a chance to the inside, but moves up, doesn't want to give up the outside through 1 and 2. And defensive driving from Ollie Fonseca, who tries to hold steady for 7th place. Rest of the field, it is Larry Yingling up front. But what is Yingling doing to those tires? We saw the drop off. He was able to compete for a good 20 to 30 laps. We've now hit the window where he started to fade backwards throughout the field. I'm curious for Larry Yingling, what has he learned from that green flag run to now to set him up for a chance to win with 45 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, Larry Yingling, he's in the spot that he was hoping to have in front of Jake Nichols and now leading this race. I mean, this race, he wanted to grab it last season, and just that, like we talked about, that last lap pass from Newbigging. So, I mean, Larry Yingling is in prime position to potentially lead the rest of this race, but he's got John Forbes slowly catching up to him to put pressure on the number 67 machine.
And as we're less than 50 laps away from this race, let's bring up our race report. If you're just joining us right now, we started off with breaking the streak of caution-free races. We had 3 races: Auto Club, Legacy, Texas, and Charlotte go caution-free tonight. We're back to the caution column. Only 3 cautions have been thrown so far this evening. Another record that drivers were concerned about is would we pass the most cautions being thrown? That is 6 back at Atlanta 08 for race number 2. That would be a record that I don't think any of these drivers want to beat. They would like this race to go caution-free from here to the end. But it has been an up and down window of seeing drivers try to get up front. The different times during the green flag pit stops gave us chances to see who was emerging with good long run pace, who had the short run pace. And right now it's Larry Yingling trying to get back into victory lane.
Yeah, Larry Yingling would love to finish out this season with a win in the wins column. He's doing a great job so far tonight at that, but John Forbes is there to challenge him as these guys are really good, putting on a really good show. We've seen a lot of comers and goers all race long, especially that number 27 machine sitting in 3rd. The last green flag run, he came from the last car on the lead lap through the field to pass Jake Nichols for the lead. So if there's anybody anyone's got to worry about, it's that 27 machine of Talmadge.
And looking at the lap times being put down, Yingling is fading. He is being caught now by John Forbes and the rest of the field. Last lap, it was a 10th off. This time, a little bit closer, within a couple of hundredths off the rest of the field. But Yingling is going to be in trouble here, I think, for 39 laps left in this race. It's a little bit too far of a gap to hold on, and John Forbes wants clean air, wants to be in control, and the 7 trying to make the pass on the inside. Here are your live points based off where our top 6 in points are running currently. This is not accounting for the race winning 2 points, and a great crossover move by Larry Yingling to go back to the inside of John Forbes. But the 7, he's been protecting his tires better. He should have the better run off the exit of turn number 4, but he slides and has the nose ahead.
Oh, a huge slide from the number 7 machine. It looked like Yingling got a little scared there. He had to drive a little to the left to try to not get hit by the 7 machine, but that's going to slow him down. Now give the opportunity for Jarrett Talmadge to make the move on the inside of 3 and 4. He's going to try and follow his teammate of Forbes through and get around the 67 machine. He should be able to clear him here in 1 and 2. Not quite yet. It almost looked like they made a slight bit of contact, but the 27 should be able to clear and does clear Larry out of turn 2.
Jarrett Talmadge entered into this season during the offseason. The original car that was picked for Season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series was the brand new Gen 4 car that iRacing dropped. Halfway through the season, they changed over to this legacy ARCA car / Gen 4 machine that we are running right now in the season. But during that offseason, it was Jarrett Talmadge that really found speed. When the car got loose, when it was a handful, the 27 found ways to have the better tires than everyone else. And tonight, this car almost runs identically to the way the off-season vehicle did, and we are seeing the rewards being given out to the 27. Jarrett Talmadge running for a chance for his first ever championship. He was always the 4th driver on a team. He was the guy that you thought maybe he'd win a super speedway here and there. Would he have a chance for a championship? And right now, you look at those live points. If he finds a way to get by John Forbes, if he finds a way to win this race, he could find himself being the points leader heading into Homestead next week. But that's if we see the 27 make the pass, and that's if we are able to stay green.
I mean, with his long run pace that we've seen before, he should be able to make this pass. Give him another 20 laps, or 10 to 15 laps. He should have a little bit better pace than Forbes, but he's just got to drive his race. He's got to do exactly what he's been doing all race long and wait for that opportunity. He got really close to the back bumper of the number 7 machine, almost making contact, but I mean, he's doing a great job just keeping his pace and maintaining a calm and clear head to try and make his chance to win this race.
We also want to say, as we're entering our final 30 laps of this race, thank you to our final sponsor of Trophy Smack. If you're trying to find a way to honor your championship victories, your personal milestones, or if you want to show off some funny memes and low moments, they've got you covered at TrophySmack.com. Head on over, use the promo code WSSR Smack at checkout for 10% off for your wall smack. Go check out ways that you can show off your victories and low moments at TrophySmack.com. And one of the high moments Jarrett Talmadge would love to get is find a way to get by the 7 of John Forbes. Talmadge yet to get a win. He's the only driver inside of our top 7 in points to still be winless this point of the season. And he's trying to find a way to get to the outside quarter panel of John Forbes. But Forbes is defending. He's been watching, and they're also watching in their mirrors. Jake Nichols is starting to lose grip. He's starting to lose touch, and under heavy pressure from all the competition from every point, and contact from Sentinel, the part-timer, sends the 73 around, and here we go. This is the time to see some drama. Who's taking tires and who's not, with 25 laps to go here tonight.
I just can't fathom anybody not taking tires at this point in the race. Small contact between the 23 and the 73 machine coming out of turn 4 sends the 73 of Jake Nichols around. That'll bring out the caution, another caution for the night. So I can just see every driver coming down pit road and getting some fresh rubbers.
I think with the taking a fresh rubber, it's who will attempt to take 2 or not, as Cedric Hunter going to be looking for the wave around for the 13, as he's currently 15 laps down. Look to get one of those laps back. Same for Chuck Sweeting, who's expected to get the Lucky Dog award with 57, just 1 lap down for this next restart, but here we go. This is the important window. Who will be leading this race off the exit of pit road? Do you take 2? Do you take 4? You're taking tires here. Which one will get you up front and set up for a chance for victory? Jake Nichols going to be the driver starting in the back, not expected to really have a run for this win, but he's got to find a way to salvage. Here we go. Drivers exiting out of pit road. The first to take 2 tires is Vincent Sora in the 15. Talmadge, Forbes, side by side. Talmadge is up front for now for second. Will he have to give up that position? No, he'll stay in second place.
Vincent Sora being the one to gamble 2 tire stop for the 15 machine. We'll have to see if this plays out, because if this works out, that is a huge race winning call for the 15 machine and keeps his chance for a championship ever so slightly alive, depending on how many drivers show up next week.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think it's going to come down to who shows up next week for a large majority of our final 6 that are still mathematically for a chance for this championship. But Ryan Kelly going to be back in 5th place, Talmadge in 2nd. You see, based off the live points, Kelly still 1 point ahead as everyone makes their decisions. 1 to go. If you haven't already, it's time to share the stream. This is going to be a scattering of sheet metal getting ready here. I don't think that we're going to go green and stay green. The question is, who can survive North Wilkesboro, the track that was the one circled up in the chase of could really change your championship. It could solidify or it could end, and it's time to see who's ready for this restart. 2 tires for Vincent Sora on the inside. Everyone else took 4. A lot of wheel spin for Jared Talmadge on the outside. He'll stay side by side. John Forbes isn't waiting for a mistake. He'll force the issue to the inside. It's Forbes, Sora, and Talmadge making it 3 wide down into turn number 3. Here we go. Talmadge wants the win. Ben's going to be pressuring his teammate. Brian McCann's going to be trying to follow suit, but Talmadge, what a run! Contact with Forbes, and he'll spin Forbes down into 1. Oh no! Into Sora. Talmadge is free. Sora's around, and caution is out.
A huge dive into the turn. Talmadge gets into the back of his teammate, the number set of John Forbes. Forbes looked like he was kind of going to save it, gets into the wall, and turns back down into the nose of the 15, and then calamity after that.
John Forbes required damage flag given to the 7. I mean, he didn't have a chance with that first contact. The second one doesn't help anymore. And just Talmadge getting loose, getting up and using his teammate as kind of the buffer to straighten him out. What ultimately ends the night of John Forbes and ends the night and ends the season of a championship hopeful. John Forbes, his chances of a championship are done, and for Vincent Sora, I think that slide, that chance, his championship as well is done. He has left the server for Vincent Sora. Season 12 is not the day or not the season for the driver that was hoping to tie Yingling with 3 championships. It's now going to be Jared Talmadge, Ryan Kelly, 1-2 with Jake Nichols back in 5th.
Jake Nichols back in 5th, still in a good striking position, but I think Jared Talmadge is in the best position he could possibly be in. I know that's not going to be a very happy conversation after this race between Forbes and Talmadge. It was kind of looked just some really bad misjudgment there. Talmadge looked a little loose, but unfortunate to see for Forbes, his race to kind of end like that, and Vincent Sora taking the 2-tire strategy to try to make something work, just not able to get make it work for himself.
I mean, just get bullied and pushed around, and there's just nothing you could have done for the 15. Got the damage, and there was, with having any type of damage, you needed a track position this late in the race. And it is Jared Talmadge up front, Kelly for the first time this evening. Remember, the 3 got the pole here tonight. He led the lap early on in this race and has just been hovering in 6th and 7th position, just waiting for his opportunity to strike, to get up front. And with all the mishaps, all the drivers that were ahead of them that wiped themselves out, it's now our contenders. Talmadge, Kelly, 1-2, and Nichols back in 5th.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly back up here on the front row for this restart. He could have just been buying his time, waiting for the cautions to benefit him.
Is the drama over? Or is it time for a little bit more of fanning the flames? Let's see. Jared Talmadge on the inside. Kelly looking for a good launch, but it's the 27 who has control, able to head down into turn number 1. Ryan Kelly trying to keep the nose on the outside. Drivers further on back. Seth Mill going to be put into the wall, but at a 3 wide, battling for third place. Jake Nichols doesn't want to wait anymore. Watch the competition fade away. It's Talmadge, it's Kelly, and Fonseca trying to hold back Jake Nichols, who's roaring forward.
Yeah, Jake Nichols has got to get around Ollie Fonseca and continue to challenge these guys for the lead, but Ollie is doing a great job defending a podium finish potential for himself. He's going to try to get down and block the 73, but not quite there. A little bit of contact. They're still going straight, but still side by side for third, fourth, and fifth.
With it being a sprint here to the end, the outside is exactly where you want to be. It's where you're going to make a lot of passes. The inside, it's going to take 30 laps before you really have a chance to challenge forward. And Ollie Fonseca gets clear, drops low, now trying to hold back the 73 as Brian McCann wants to add another driver in between himself and his teammate Ryan Kelly. But Jared Talmadge, driver up front, he sees in his mirror, it's chaos, it's drama, it's Seth Nolf with a big save for the 23. Jared Talmadge wants this race to stay green. He's in the prime position to win this race. Kelly is looking good to try to exit tonight as the points leader. It's Nichols that has all the drama to catch up. He's got everything to lose, and he's got to throw some Hail Marys here as we're closing in to 10 to go.
He's got to throw the Hail Marys, and he's doing everything he can. He's trying to get around the 8 machine. He might have a little bit of momentum, but the outside line, just so much speed coming out of the turn. A huge wall hit for the 8. That'll allow Nichols to get around. He's going to slide up in front of the 8 machine. But now Thomas Green next to Brian McCann. He's going to challenge him as Jake Nichols finally around is going to try and chase back down Ollie Fonseca to try to make that pass for third.
Trying to get back into that third place spot, try to slow down any more of a gap that could balloon out, as these are our live points on the bottom bar. Now, the only bonus points that are not added to these live points is the 2 points to going to the winner, which would be tacked on to Jared Talmadge currently, and would slot him in second place in points, just being 3 points back to Ryan Kelly heading into Homestead next week. Ryan Kelly, he's trying to continue on the trend of finishing inside of the top 3 for every race here in the chase so far. The 3 has been the most consistent on fire driver. Jared Talmadge, you could say, has been the second best. At one moment was leading in the chase based off of points, and right now trying to grab his first win of the season. This would be the most impactful win of Jared Talmadge's WSSR career, because he's won all the super speedways you could ask for. But a short track, this would be important for Talmadge and a solidifier of I want this championship for season 12.
Yeah, he has really been showing up and getting better and better each race, but this race is showing what he can do on a short track, and Talmadge is really wanting to hoist that trophy after next week, and he is doing a fantastic job with his pace that he's had all night. 6 more laps around North Wilkesboro, and Jared Talmadge can call himself a winner.
That last lap, Ryan Kelly, the advantage. He had 1/10 faster than Jared Talmadge, but with 6 laps to go, you need more than just one good lap. You need to be consistent. You need to hit your marks every go-around, and just 1 lap better isn't going to be enough as you lose that 10th back the next go-around. Talmadge, 5 laps to go, and he looks in his mirror. The closest of battles that are happening is the battle for third. Ollie Fonseca going to be under fire from Jake Nichols. Nichols trying to minimize the bleeding of how these competitors around him battling for the championship have been succeeding. And this is another race where Nichols looked to be the dominant driver for the first 3 quarters of this race, but it's the final quarter where everything just falls apart for the 73.
You know, a lot of drivers in a lot of leagues, they will not switch cars in the middle of a season. WSSR decided to do that, and it was such a great decision by the admins to switch to this Legacy Gen 4 car, as we have seen some exciting racing since the switch. And Jake Nichols, Ollie Fonseca, the closest battle on track. Nichols is trying everything he can to minimize the bleeding, but Talmadge is walking away. 2 laps to go.
2 to go. If we take the white flag, this race is official, and it could be Jarrett Talmadge grabbing his first win of the season and getting through 3 and 4. Jarrett Talmadge, what a season it's been. A fight, a claw, looking for victory lane. He'll be given this, going to be the Sim Precision Prince white flag for the 27 of Jarrett Talmadge. He's been showing chances, glimpses, opportunities. He thought it was going to be New Hampshire to start the chase off. Instead, it's North Wilkesboro, the second to last race of the WSSR season, and it goes to the 27 of Jarrett Talmadge, finally into the win column.
A win for Jarrett Talmadge and a podium for Ollie Fonseca as him and Jake Nichols came across the line. Oh, milliseconds of each other. But a huge win with Jarrett Talmadge taking his first win of the season and solidifying his opportunity to hoist the trophy at the end of the season.
And here are our live points. We have added the win to Jarrett Talmadge, so that's 2 bonus points for himself, making it Ryan Kelly heading into next week. Gonna have a 3-point advantage over Talmadge. He's gonna have a 5-point advantage over Jake Nichols. The rest of the field, you better have a hope and a prayer to have a chance to take the championship in season 12. The top 3, they prove it once again. They are the 3 that have been clutch here in the chase. Talmadge, burn it down, enjoy this one. As when we come back, we'll talk to Jarrett Talmadge, Ryan Kelly, and Ollie Fonseca for the post-race show. We'll be back right after this. Well, we're down to 3 drivers hunting for the championship. And after tonight here at Wilkesboro, all 3 now have a win this season. Jarrett Talmadge, no longer the wait, when will it happen? It happens here tonight. He was the dominant car when it came to late in the race, but also proved it in that shootout that he was the driver who also had the speed when he just needed to put it down. We've got the 27 of Jarrett Talmadge with us. Jarrett, you've been searching for the win. You thought it was going to happen so many times this season, but finally here at North Wilkesboro, you were the best car when it came to the long run. You proved it there in the short run. welcome to Victory Lane. How are you feeling after that one?
Pretty happy to be honest. I did not think coming into this that of all races this would be the track I'd win at. I'm not great on short tracks, and uh, yeah, I don't know. Dude, I messed up qualifying, and then I don't know, drove up to like third or something, got a tap from behind, got spun. I thought that was it, and then I don't even know how I drove through the entire field there to get to the lead, and then it never fails, man. You get that yellow when you don't want it, and then yeah, I feel bad for John because I inadvertently took him out not trying to. That really sucks. But yeah, it's really nice to finally get a win, but more so close the gap for the championship.
Yeah, that was an impressive run in that second green flag stint there for yourself, Jarrett. Coming back from the last car on the lead lap to pass Jake Nichols for the lead after about 70 or 80 laps. I mean, you must have found something in practice. Did you think it was going to be this good to be able to dominate tonight?
No, I didn't find anything in practice. To be honest, I was struggling more so. So I'm insanely surprised. Like I said, I genuinely I don't know how, to be honest, especially like with how good Jake is, how I was able to track him down once I did clear everybody else. I would have loved for it to stay green. That would have been great. But I mean, we still got it done in the end. So I have no clue how I did it here though.
I mean, Jared, I was listening in to you guys during the practice and just sounded like you were talking about the numbers that potentially you could have that speed for the long run. You're kind of shocked by the numbers of how you were finding your tires, but you get it done here tonight. It looks like you're going to be exiting out North Wilkesboro, still 4 points back from Ryan Kelly, but a win like tonight, heading into Homestead, what is your confidence level knowing that you're still in the hunt and there's still a chance for you to be a WSSR Cup Series champion, and not just that, the final one potentially of the WSSR?
Yeah, that is true. I do remember in practice saying that if it becomes a long run, I might be good, but I didn't think tires were going to matter that much. A win like this is honestly really huge. Just like I think I was the only one in the top 5 without a win in the standings. So I don't want to say it kind of felt fraudulent to be in the championship hunt, but it kind of did. But I mean, it's a huge momentum boost. I know the car is not the same as the preseason, but I did really good when they did the preseason races at Homestead, and I do like Homestead. So hopefully that'll be good, and we can win it. You know.
I mean, Jarrett, this was an incredible one to watch and call, and congratulations on getting the victory here at North Wilkesboro. Before we let you go, though, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Yeah, like shout out you guys putting on the broadcast. Everybody who runs the league, obviously, it's coming to the end at the end of the season, and I hate to see it go. I've really enjoyed running in it since I've been in here. I really have to put a big apology out to John there. I just inadvertently moved up a little too much and killed him and his championship hopes, so I apologize to him. Shout out to John Peel and everybody on Lucky Ducks and Stand Up to Cancer org on the car again this week. Finally got a win with it, so that's nice. Hopefully we can go back to back next week, and next time I'm talking to you guys, hopefully I'll be a champion.
Open for that, Jared. Congratulations on this win. Enjoy it, and good luck prepping for the final race of the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
As we move from first place, winner of the race, to second place, the driver who is going to be entering Homestead with the points lead by 4 points. We've got Ryan Kelly with us, and Ryan, you continue on with the incredible streak you've had in the chase, finishing in the top 3 every race so far. How are you feeling coming away with second here tonight? Because at one moment we were concerned if you were even going to finish in the top 5 at a time.
Yeah, I'm certainly happy with second place. I was definitely concerned too in the beginning there, and just tried saving my tires there at the start, and that caution came out and kind of derailed that strategy. So I had to regroup from there, and it was hard to pass, and especially on the bottom, we just spin the rear tires a lot, and then the car would just get out of shape from there and start to snowball kind of. So it was really hard to make passes and take care of the tires at the same time. And I think a couple late cautions there, and those guys getting into each other really just helped me out here. Second place.
Yeah, Ryan, you've had a phenomenal championship run these past 4 races this for this season so far. But going into Homestead to finish out this season, you are the points leader going into it. How do you plan on attacking Homestead? And is it one that you're going to be confident and comfortable racing?
Yeah, I really like Homestead. It's more the traditional oval and definitely more my wheelhouse, and definitely gives me confidence going in with the point lead, knowing it's just one more race and the highest finisher will probably win it. So looking forward to that one, and yeah, hopefully it goes well. Can keep the good streak up here in the playoffs.
We're hoping for that as well. I mean, Ryan, I know was informed on the fact that you had a little bit of a power outage right before practice starting. How much worry and stress were you feeling that there could be extra issues popping up after that, right before this race?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest scare all season because I haven't really had too many of those issues recently here, and to just have the power flicker there half hour before the race definitely scared me and was in the back of my mind during the race. But hopefully, I don't think it affected me too much tonight, and then happy it just didn't derail anything, and looking forward to next week.
Well, Ryan, congratulations on another fantastic performance coming away second here tonight. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, you guys always putting on a great show, and all my teammates tonight, and all my competitors, and I've had some family watching. Shout out to them, and yeah, hopefully next week I'll talk to you guys again.
Well, that will be driver comes away second here tonight, number 3 of Ryan Kelly, but enters next week at Homestead as our points leader and the favorite to take the season 12 championship. Ryan, congratulations on second and good luck next week at Homestead.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
As we move from second place, we go down to third to talk to a driver who had to fight, who had to climb, and honestly defended the world there at the end to take third. We've got Ollie Fonseca with us. Ollie, we have seen you look fantastic here in the chase. Great in the first quarter of a run. You just show defensive plays, and then you kind of fade throughout the rest of the race. Here tonight, you had to defend late, and you did so over one of the best drivers in the series to take third. How are you feeling after that incredible performance at the end?
I feel like Ryan Newman, man. I guess you can call me the Rocket Man. I don't know. I just I can't ever seem to go forward and make up ground, but I sure am good at holding people up. So I don't know what to tell you. Just pretty proud of the effort there. I don't know. I missed a few wrecks there, and honestly, I'm not sure what happened with me and Larry there about halfway through the race, but I feel bad for him, spinning him out, trying to get my lap back, and I don't know. I guess it kind of helped me because at the beginning of that run there, I got hit in the back and I Tokyo drifted through turn 3 and 4, and my wrists were touching. I don't know how the heck I saved it, but drove the crap out of it, and I was kicking the rear end out every single freaking corner, and so I pit early, and it just kind of worked out. So I don't know. I think I just got kind of lucky, but yeah, I don't know. You just put me in that position so many times. I don't know. I just figure out how to hold people off.
Yeah, Ollie, great to have you up here in the booth talking with you after a podium finish tonight in third. Fantastic run, fantastic defense. Did you ever think you would have been able to hold off Jake Nichols for that many laps to score the podium for tonight?
Dude, I can't even believe you're asking me that. Heck no. Are you kidding me? No. Like, that guy is freaking insane. No, I mean, and he tried to get me there going into 3 on the final lap. I knew he was going to do it. I mean, serves me right. And so I just, I tried to back it up and park it on his nose. And, it kept me from going all the way out to the wall. And he still was able to turn underneath me, and we drag race the line. I just barely got him. So, it was pretty fun, man. Pretty grateful for just being able to be here and running good in the second to last race of the series. I love the series. I'm gonna miss it. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, Ollie, we head to Homestead for the final race of the season and the final race of WSSR for the foreseeable future. What are you hoping for heading into Homestead next week?
Well, I mean, it'd be really cool to go out on top of the win, but I just want to run good, have a good last race, finish out the season strong, and I don't think I'm in any near point situation for the championship or anything like that. So I just just run like I did tonight, I guess. Obviously short tracks are more in my wheelhouse, so I got a lot of work to do if I'm gonna run good at Homestead, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
Well, we can't wait to see how you perform next week, Ollie, to try to finish off the season as well as you did here tonight. Enjoy it. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank my family, my mom, stepdad, grandma, grandpa, Aunt Donna, Uncle Larry there. Appreciate you guys all for watching these. Sorry, there won't be any more Wednesday nights after next week, but it's I say it every time. I do it for them as much as I do it for myself. So thank you guys for watching every single week, and thank WSSR. You know, it's been a lot of fun. I've been running this series for a while now, and it's just made me so much better in so many different ways. So just thanks to all the admins who run this and put it on every week. It's been a pleasure meeting everyone and just getting better with my craft, you know, doing this. So thank you guys also for the broadcast. I miss you guys in Trinity. Y'all are awesome. I haven't talked to you in a while, Sam. It's been a minute and I missed it. So thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank you, Larry, for being the best spotter or sponsor I could ask for. Check out his YouTube channel. He makes awesome content, and yeah.
Well, that will be Ollie Fonseca in the 24. He's been having a pretty awesome week in racing. Speaking about Trinity, he won this past Monday's race. Congratulations to that, Ollie, and a third place here tonight. Enjoy it, and good luck next week at Homestead.
Thanks, Sam.
As that will be our 3 drivers interview here this evening. It's been a wild season. 17 races are in the book. And finally, Jared Talmadge is in the win column. The only issue, he's still 4 points back from Ryan Kelly. After tonight, Jake Nichols is going to leave 6 points back. And those are going to be your 3 drivers to watch out for. Homestead next week should be a good one. Before we get to more conversations about next week, let's take a look at our unofficial results for tonight. Bringing up Jared Talmadge with the win. Ryan Kelly taking the pole, but not the victory. He'll come away second, but still a good points day to leave basically where he was entering tonight, with being ahead by 4. Ollie Fonseca taking third. He will be our biggest mover of the evening, up 13 spots from where he qualified. Jake Nichols going to take 4th. He leaves losing some points to Ryan Kelly and needing a big swing next week at Homestead. Brian McCann going to finish out here tonight in 5th. 6th goes to Thomas Green. Seth Knoll going to be taking 7th, with Larry Yingling 8th. 9th goes to Chuck Sweeting. That's a great top 10 for the 57. And finishing out our top 10 drivers, it's the 7 of John Forbes.
Yeah, Brian Noel is going to be able to finish the 11th, 9 laps down, and after that is a lot of drivers. Heavy damage, deciding to call it a night. A couple of those drivers, Vincent Sora was looking to have a good finish after a 2-tire stop, and just gets involved into an incident that was not any of his doing. Gavin Rogers also trying to make being up in front work, and just an unfortunate spin from Cedric Hunter takes him out of the race as well. A lot of crashes, not really a lot of crashes, just some heavy impacts tonight, but the drivers overall, fantastic work and an amazing race and finish as well.
Trying to finish out the season as strong as they can. It's been a wild one. Again, we were notified last week WSSR is going to be closing shops for the foreseeable future after season 12 concludes. Next week is going to be the final race of the season and might be the last race of the WSSR Cup Series forever. We'll have to find out and see who's going to take the championship. It will be a first-time champion that we will be crowning next week at Homestead. Richard, 3 drivers: Ryan Kelly, Jared Talmadge, Jake Nichols. All 3 of them, incredible storylines entering in the next week. I cannot wait for it. It is going to be a blast to call Homestead the last race of the season.
Homestead is going to be an amazing race to call. It's already a great racetrack. These guys are some fantastic racers, and the 3 of the best in the field have made it to the top, and under 10 points separating them. It is going to be a wild ride, and it is going to be a battle tooth and nail next week to see who comes out on top, with Ryan Kelly currently at the advantage, 6 points above Jake Nichols.
Who's going to catch up to Ryan Kelly, or can anyone do it? That's going to be the question heading into next week. And kind of crazy to say this, but we will not have just one broadcast next week. Freaky Fast Broadcasting is back to 2, as we will be having our first broadcast of the Lone Star Racing League. We're not just seeing some Cup Series racing action, we will be seeing some Gen 6 Cup racing action on Monday night. Can't wait for it. But for this evening, for myself, Sam Dyer, for Richard Wolfsfer, and as well for Robert Moyer Jr. and everyone else from Freaky Fast Broadcasting, thank you so much for spending your Wednesday night here with us watching some WSSR Cup Series action presented by Elwood Designs. Race 5 is in the books, and the driver who takes the win is Jarrett Talmadge. He still has a slight hill to climb to be crowned a champion. Can he run down Kelly, or will we see the rookie that has dominated for most of the season step up to win next week for the championship of season 12 of Jake Nichols? I'll find out. That is next Wednesday. Homestead, we crown a champion for the WSSR Cup Series. But if you can't wait until then for more racing action, we will see you Monday night for some Lone Star Racing coverage. Gen 6 cars heading to Richmond. They just got off of a week break. We'll see how the tempers cooled off. Is the league ready for us to call the race? We'll find out Monday for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.
I was standing, staying still, never said what I feel, and every time I took the blame, carried all this quiet shame. Cause all the pressure in my chest, I've gotta fight to catch my breath, when every step still feels the same, trying not to break. Where do I go from here? Maybe I'll disappear. If I don't try, I'll never know. I'm waiting on you. Where do I go from here? There will be no more tears. Kill the doubt, feed the fire, hear the voice inside. It's my turn this time. They took a shot, now I want mine. You fall, I rise, I take the wheel. So this is how it feels. Where do I go from here? Maybe I'll disappear. If I don't try,